Hi Isopod fans, this is Wally Kern with Supreme Gecko, and today we're not doing an unboxing. I was at a local show, SEWERFest in Racine, Wisconsin, and picked up a great number of Isopods. Wait, what's that? It's a button. If you haven't already, go to Isopods of Eden and check out their really super cool buttons. Let's go ahead and check out these Isopods.
The Isopod Vlog.
What you see behind me is all of the setups that I've already prepared. I have the substrate, some sphagnum moss, wood, and leaves in each one of these back here. And they're all ready for these isopods. So I set these up probably about 4 or 5 days ago. I put some springtails in them. I took some cultures or some substrate from other cultures and moved into these containers as well, just to give them a kickstart, just to be prepared for these isopods. Now, I'm not going to go in depth with each one of these isopods. I'll give a little bit of information for each one of them if I can, but most of this is just showing you what I've picked up at SEWERFest. This first group of 3 isopods are all coming from Red's Bugs. I tell you, for price, for condition of isopods, for availability, I don't think you could beat Red from Red's Bugs. These are just outstanding isopods. Let's go ahead and start taking a look at these. This first isopod is Porcelio Hassi, or Hassi. It's a large Spanish isopod. They get to be about 1 inch and a quarter. And about the only thing I really know about these is that they need a lot of air, a lot of ventilation. So these guys will get much, much bigger. You can see how beautiful these guys are. Let's take a look at the next isopod. This next isopod, also from Red's Bugs, is Cubaris Red Skirt. For those of you familiar with the rubber duckies, they're Cubaris as well. Just go ahead and take a look at these. Just a ton of little babies in there. Look at them scatter. And check this out. Red gave me the one adult there in that grouping, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm guessing more in here. So probably 7 or 10 in here, and also all those little tiny babies. So it gives me just that head start with this grouping. You can see again that there's a lot of dry area here, and I've got this moist area. So they have a nice gradient to go in between. I never like to throw away the contents of a culture like this. So I'm going to go ahead and add everything that Red has given me, so that we don't lose any animals whatsoever. I just don't want to pour everything right out on top of the isopods. Okay, getting the last couple of them in here. I think I have all the adults, but I'm going to go ahead again and add the substrate here too. Try to gently pour this out. And let's go ahead and check that third grouping from Red's Bugs. And last but not least of these 3, and again, this was a special isopod for me from Red. I cannot thank him enough for this. This is way above and beyond. But this isopod is Armadillidium gastroi. This isopod likes a lot of leaves in their enclosure, so we'll go ahead and add more leaves here in just a second. Let's go ahead and show you this wonderful isopod again, Armadillidium gastroi. And I'll go ahead and add them to this enclosure. Really like the way that Red packages these guys. What I'm doing now is just digging through very gently and very easily through the substrate. If I have an adult in here, I'll go ahead and add that one in, but for the rest of this, I'm going to add to the side here so we get all the substrate in this container. There we go. And Nanette just added a bunch of leaves, and this should be perfect for them. All right, let's go ahead and go on to the next group of isopods that I got at SEWERFest. These isopods are from Brittany from the Isopod Chick. I've had such good luck with isopods from Brittany in the past. I can't be more pleased with her isopods. And I'll throw a link into another purchase that I made from Brittany 2 or 3 months ago. But this isopod is Armadillidium vulgare Orange Vigor. I'm not sure why I haven't added these isopods to my collection just yet, but I'm very happy to have them in this grouping. Just a beautiful orange animal. Let's go ahead and add them in. Brittany does such a great job in packaging her animals. I'm doing a double check just to make sure I'm not missing any of the isopods in this cup. This next isopod is Porcelionides prunensis whiteout. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a closer shot with these guys. Maybe not. They seem to be running down. Look at how pretty these are. I hope you can get that. They are very, very fast. They're very similar to powder oranges. Almost lost one there. But just look at the clean orange look of this isopod. Let's go ahead and add these to the enclosure. A lot of you might be asking at this point, why am I not counting the number of isopods that I'm receiving in this order? I've worked with Brittany on another order, and the quality of the animals and the counts were just right on or over what I had actually ordered. So I'm very, very pleased with the animals that she gives me, and I'm very pleased with the counts that she'll provide in these cultures. This is number 3 from Brittany, and this is a very, very different isopod. It's Porcelio species Spikey. I think that's more of a common name than anything. And I doubt that we'll get a very good shot of these isopods. And yes, I'm adding these gel balls right to the enclosure. It really doesn't hurt anything. It might benefit the isopods a little bit, but Brittany does a great job of packaging these guys. And I just want to keep everything the same. Very different. Nice spiky armor on this one. The next isopod that we have here is Armadillidium, and I'm sure I'm going to kill this name, but it's Pucellum. And if I'm saying that wrong, I'll go ahead and add the spelling to the video. These guys are super tiny. Neat little isopod. I'm going to go ahead and add them to the enclosure. I'll go ahead and see if I can get some pictures of this isopod and share an adult size picture of these guys. The next 2 isopods are both Venezilo purvis. One is a normal and one is a Dalmatian. Let's go ahead and take a look at the normal first. And I'll go ahead and get some of the bigger pieces out of here first. We'll see if we can see a couple of these isopods. We'll go ahead and miss the sphagnum moss here. I think that this enclosure is a little bit dry. I'm going to go ahead and start dumping out and see if I can hold my hand still, and hopefully you can see some of them. They're very, very small. This is just an absolutely gorgeous little isopod once they get a little bigger. Let's go ahead and add them before I drop them all. We've misted this enclosure, and I'm going to go ahead and grab another enclosure and mist that out. We'll go ahead and grab the Venezilo purvis Dalmatians. Okay, we've wet this enclosure down. I'm going to go ahead and open the container here, and we'll take a peek at these guys. Look at that. I'll go ahead and add them in. Again, this is purvis Dalmatian. Try to be as gentle as I possibly can, but again, these guys can take quite a bit.
I want to thank Red and Brittany once again for these amazing isopods. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about these isopods, leave a comment below, press that like button, and we'll see you next week, Isopod fans.